got in the way. ABA is applied behavior analysis. And a lot of times, when we're not sure what it is, it makes us a little bit nervous because it sounds like something that's complicated. When I went into the coursework for ABA, I thought, I'm not a science person. I don't collect data. I don't know how to do baseline work. I don't know how to do this stuff because it's going to be too complicated for me to think about. But when I started unpacking to see what ABA really is, it really does line up beautifully with what we're already doing as educators. I know sometimes with ABA, it's hard to get into the school systems because it sounds like you're going to come in and you're going to tell them how to do things or they're not doing it right. We all have the opportunity to become modifiers of behavior with everything that we do in the classroom. So what I basically did was took the teach and learn model and I lined it up with ABA principles because we're already doing this stuff. So I wanted to break it down and explain to you how that's done. So if we look at the T and the L here, let me get on this side so I can explain it a little bit better. When we look at the T and the L, which is talk the positive and lift them up, we're essentially saying these components here: positive reinforcement, pairing and building rapport, varying stimuli, and sources of reinforcement. That sounds complicated with science, right? Let me break it down, make it plain. Positive reinforcement, teaching your children when they walk in to say good morning to everybody. Go find one person to say good morning to, find one person to wave at, throw a wave across the classroom if you're not wanting them, next to each other and everything, because we have to be a little bit more conscientious of how they're interacting. But getting them to say hi, positive reinforcement. You as the teacher, good morning everyone, I'm so happy you're here, we're going to have a fantastic day. That's that positive reinforcement. Pairing and building rapport. That's with you finding one person to go say good morning to, wave at a friend across the room. That's building that rapport. So now they're waving at somebody they may not have talked to during the course of the day. Varying stimuli. So that means finding things that they'll work for. What are they willing to do something for? Okay, let's get our work done and we'll have some free time to work on an art project. So giving them different things that may get them excited and stimulate their thinking and their abilities to work. Sources of reinforcement. What are you going to do? It could be a token system where everybody, if the whole class gets their work done, they get a token and we get to watch a movie on Friday. Well, I was going to watch a movie anyway, but now they're working for it. That makes it even better. So things that will encourage them, lift them up, and help them give back to the classroom. You want them pouring in more positive things. These are things that will allow you to modify some of the behaviors that you see. Because if kids are working for something and they got an outcome, they might be more motivated to get it done. If kids aren't motivated to get things, they won't do things. And it doesn't have to be things, tangibles, like the over-justification we talked about. It could be a movie together. It could be a free time, 5 minutes of free time on your iPad. Those are things that are doable. So that's what we get when we do the talk the positive and the lift them up. Now, let's go to the exercise the movement, which is where we are now. If I pour that out, get them moving, what am I going to get back? They're going to express more. There's something called the PREMAC principle, P-R-E-M-A-C-K, PREMAC principle. The PREMAC principle is often referred to as the grandma's law. And the grandma's law is first this, then this. First, we're going to go over our spelling words, then we can have some free time. First, we're going to get our, check our homework, then we'll get up and move around the classroom. So a PREMAC principle is really a first this, then that. That's behavior modification all day long. What can we do first, then we can get to that. Once we get this done, what would you all like to do? Let them talk. Remember, we want to hear their voices coming back. They may say, can we go outside? Can we have 5 minutes extra on our outdoor time? Okay, let's get the work done. If we get it all done, then I will add 2 or 3 minutes to your outdoor time. So giving them a choice, that's the PREMAC principle. Verbal responses, getting them to tell you. Interactive, ask them something, they respond back to you. It's an interverbal where you're asking them, they're responding back. You want them talking back to you with these kinds of activities. Chaining, I showed you forward and backwards. I'm getting them up and moving. They're doing something, moving it, adding to it to build it up, or unpacking it backwards. So getting them building up things, unpacking things. That's the chaining process. Social skills, guess what? Exercise and movement is going to be social. Tell me how. How is that building my social skills? Because you guys, this is stuff we're doing anyway. Talk to me. Yeah,
collaborate with each other, you're talking, you're communicating, if they don't understand, you're having to find ways to clarify for yourself, and so it's all the social skills. You're taking turns, you're...
Absolutely. Requesting things, asking somebody to help you with. I saw you guys doing this when we were doing the letters, when you were doing this thing. I heard somebody say, where's Kay? I heard somebody say, oh, Kay is over here. Let me show you. I think you were doing that all day long. Because you do it. We do it naturally, but we put a label to it. We call it this, and then we think it's something over here. But it's really something we're doing anyway. Visual schedules. Let kids see the visual schedules. Okay? At 10 o'clock, we're supposed to be doing this. At 11 o'clock, we'll do this. Kids can, in their mind, when they see that visual schedule, they can kind of keep up with where we are. Have you ever had kids that say, are we almost done? What time is it? Is it time to go? They need to see, because you're like a mystery. It's like, how long we got to suffer? So they need to see those visual schedules. In acted out and active participation, which we're going to cover this after lunch. In vivo, modeling, and imitating. I'm going to show you how to do something. You're going to follow behind me. I'm going to model some things for you. I'm going to imitate it. You're going to follow through and use your creativity along with it. This, again, is one of those things where we think about Lev Vygotsky, the scaffolding and modeling and imitations or intellectual tools of adaptation. So we think of those kind of things with that. Listener, speaker, responding. I talk to you, you respond back to me. I need you to give me some feedback because that's how we can eradicate any confusion or problems along the way. Because if you don't understand something, your behaviors may start going over here because you didn't know what we were doing. So I got to stop it and slow it down and to make sure that we have a good rapport back and forth with understanding. Step-by-step instructions. Sometimes we call it task analysis. I give you exactly what I need for you to do, step by step by step by step. When you can follow those steps, you can get the job done. With some of our children, we may need to get them step by step. It doesn't mean that they can't learn it, they just process differently. So I got to slow it down. Step 1, I need you to take your paper out. Step 2, get your pencil. Step 3, I want you to get your book. Step 4, I want you to turn to page 80. Step 5, we're going to read that first paragraph. I got to break it down sometimes. If I say, get your books out, get everything going, we turn to page 80, we got to read. That might be too much. But if I can give you step by step by step by step, I can get you started. And then I'm going to start pulling those steps out because now you can do it by yourself. But I got to get you going first, especially our babies when we're working with them. Feature function in class. What does something look like? How does it work? How is it operating? How am I using this? How can this help me get to what I need to get to ultimately? And then play skills. Kids don't have great play skills. They don't know how to take turns. They don't know how to ask for something without just getting it. I watch this every single day. Kids, they don't know how to play together. They're hitting, stop, no, quit, that's mine, give it to me. So we have to teach these things. This play that we're about to do after lunch is how you do that. When we talk about cognitive and creative, again, chaining comes up. Forward chaining, backward chaining. Teach them how to do it this way, teach them how to do it backwards. They got to know it forward and backwards to make it work. Peer-to-peer interaction. I've got to contrive, manipulate situations where they have to work together. Kids that typically wouldn't work together, I'm putting them together. This is how we tear down systems too, by the way, y'all. We put kids together that normally would not work together. We force them to have to figure it out. With my girls, whenever twins, something about twins, they're the best friends and then they're worst enemies. So they'll come, I'm like, are you tattletaling? That's my first question. And then they'll say, and I'm like, y'all need to work it out. They're 4. Work it out, and then work it out. These kids know how to do stuff. They're resilient. We're not giving them enough challenges to make them have to figure it out. They can figure this out. We just got to give it to them. They'll get it. Errorless learning. I don't want you to make a bunch of mistakes, because if you make a bunch of mistakes at first, what happens? You give up. You lose what? Bless you. You lose hope and confidence. I need you to get it right. I might set it up so you're going to get every single one right. And then I'm going to pull back and you're going to start figuring out how to do it yourself. But at first, I need you getting it right so that confidence, that hope starts enough, that you start wanting to try it without my help. I can do it. Yes, you can. So that errorless learning, prompting and prompt fading. I'll show you how to do it. I might have to take your hand and even do it that way. Then I'm going to start fading out because I can't be there all the time. I can't do it for you all the time. I see teachers that get kids from 3rd grade to 4th grade or 2nd grade to 3rd, and they're frustrated because they say the 2nd grade teacher didn't do what they needed to, and now they got the kids, and they're trying to teach them from last year and the new year stuff. So it's a lot of work. So we got to make sure while we have them, we're teaching as much as we can in that space, so when they go, they'll be ready to keep moving. Because teachers in 4th or 5th grade don't have time to teach 2nd and 1st grade stuff. So we got to give as much as we can. And it may not be the teacher's fault at all, because sometimes kids come to us really ill-equipped. But we just got to give them as much as we can. So that's that whole prompting. Prompt as much as you need to at first until you can fade it out. Show them how to do it until you can move out of the way. And then shaping. I'm going to get them closer and closer to success. I try to get them to make an A. Working with my kids. Shaping is this. I need you to draw the letter A. Oh, that's pretty good. We're getting there. Not quite. Let me show you this. Can you do that? We're getting there. Yes. Yes. Okay, we're almost there. Keep trying. Try some more. Yeah, look at you. Okay, can you draw a line across here? Yes! Woo! We made the letter A. I get them a little bit closer. Each time they get closer to completing it, I'm going to reinforce that. We sometimes wait till the big thing happens before we celebrate. I need y'all celebrating the little stuff. If they're able to sit 2 minutes, but yesterday they only sat 1 minute, I'm going to celebrate 1 minute extra. So we got to start celebrating small successes. So stop looking for the big giant successes that you make the whole A. Because I may not be there to make the whole A yet. But if I make a line, that's a start. Got to start somewhere. So we want to celebrate that and shaping them towards success. And then finally, the humanities and cultural awareness piece, we got to talk about the ethics of it. Am I really opening my mind and heart to understanding the children that we are serving? Because here's what you know. You can't teach what you don't know. If you don't know the children you're serving, if you don't know about their history, the culture, the background, the experiences, you can't teach. Because you can't teach what you don't know. Get to know the children that you're serving. Give them group contingencies because that makes them have to take care of each other. In other words, this table, everybody has to get the answer right before they get the reinforcement. So that means they're going to have to work together to figure out the math problem. I need you working together. Group contingencies. Start contriving and putting together groups that have to get it figured out so the kids can come to great success together. Because that teaches me to tolerate you. You getting on my nerves, but I got to work with you, according to the teacher. So I got to do it. Self-determination. If I believe I can do it, I'm going to try harder. Therefore, my behavior will be a little bit better. If I start believing, if I don't believe I can do it, I'm going to cut a fool. Because nobody's going to get it, because I don't get it. But if I can start believing in myself, and then they'll start modifying their own actions and behaviors. I had a little boy, we were doing an activity, and they could get up and work, and I had a chair sitting off to the side, and if they weren't doing what they were supposed to, they had to come and sit down and rethink, refocus, and then they could come back in. So we were playing a game, and whenever they got loud, I would do like this, and they knew to bring it down. And so we were laughing and having fun and playing and moving around and all this kind of stuff. I happened to look over to the chair, and I had one of my babies sitting in the chair, and he was sitting there swinging his feet. And I went over to him, I said, "Come on, why are you sitting in the seat?" He said, "Because I was in that group right there, but I had to get it together." "All right, baby, you got it together." He goes, "I need a little more time." I was like, okay. I didn't do anything. He modified his own behavior, y'all. because he knew what he needed to do. Here's what we can't get into. We cannot start managing behavior. Because I'm going to tell you, educators, if we start managing in elementary, teachers in middle school start managing behaviors. They go to high school, somebody's managing behaviors. You know who's going to manage behaviors when they get out of high school? Law enforcement. So we can't take all of our energy managing behaviors. I need to teach you how to modify your own behavior. And that comes through acceptance and commitment therapy as well. ACT is a part of it. That means that I'm going to get you to recognize what you need to do so that you can get it together. And then you start doing those things. And in that way, you know how to control your own self-management. Those are the things. So everything that ABA teaches you is really lined up with what we're already doing in the classroom. We just have to bump it up a notch so that we're not having all these behaviors that are keeping us from teaching. So when you know what this is that you need to do, because if you have somebody come into your school, an ABA, a BCBA, they're going to do all this stuff right here that you already can integrate every single day so you don't have to deal with it. And even if you need to come up when we take our lunch break and take a picture, I want you to think about these things because they're not difficult. You just have to know how to integrate them. So it is 12 o'clock. I'm going to take a pause from my session and end it with this. I think I'll do success. Have you ever thought what might have been if you never tried to succeed? Have you ever tried to get ahead without exerting a little speed? You see, the higher the mountain, the tougher the climb, the more the desire to win. A skin on the knee, a bump on the head just makes you get up again. It's the drive in your heart, the will in your soul, the spirit that says you can. It's knowing that we are the change in the world with the desire to follow a plan. A no is a yes, and a door is a window, and every person is someone to meet, because the closer we are to the dreams in our heart, the farther our kids are from defeat. So take your lunch break.